Hello everyone, welcome to the MMA Pulse channel. Let's get started right away with today's first news story. Tony Ferguson, the former UFC interim lightweight champion, has finally returned to the win column after a long and painful drought. And this moment has sent shockwaves across the MMA community. At Misfits 22, Ferguson faced Papi in the co-main event, a matchup that initially drew skepticism given Ferguson's brutal 8-fight losing streak and the perception that his career was effectively over. Papi came out strong, landing crisp shots and showing confidence. But Ferguson's trademark relentless pressure began to surface as the rounds progressed. By the third round, Ferguson unleashed a furious barrage of punches that forced the referee to intervene and call the fight a TKO in his favor. While the stoppage was met with controversy, many fans believed it was too early. The undeniable reality is that Ferguson secured his first victory in over 6 long years. For a fighter who had once been one of the most feared in the UFC lightweight division, this was more than just a win. It was redemption, a symbol of persistence, and a moment that reminded fans why El Cucuy was once considered one of the most dangerous men in the sport. The MMA community erupted with immediate and passionate reactions to Ferguson's win, and the commentary spanned across both excitement and criticism. BJ Penn, himself a UFC legend, kept it short and sweet with a heartfelt, "Way to go, Tony," expressing pure joy at seeing Ferguson victorious again. On the other hand, respected analyst Luke Thomas pointed out the premature stoppage, suggesting that while Ferguson had momentum, fans were robbed of a definitive ending. The MMA guru captured the sentiment many shared. He was thrilled for Ferguson's emotional win, but wished the referee had allowed the moment to build into a true TKO that could silence all doubts. Referee Mark Goddard showed relief that Ferguson got out unharmed and even entertained the idea of Tony facing Dillon Danis next. Tom Taylor expressed amazement, saying he never thought he'd see Ferguson win again, while Terrence McKinney called him the GOAT. Fighters like Sodiq Yusuff and Derek Brunson chimed in as well, pointing to flashes of vintage Tony. These mixed responses painted a picture of both celebration and debate, highlighting how much Ferguson still means to the MMA world even after years of struggle. The spotlight at Misfits 22 wasn't only on Ferguson. Dillon Danis made his highly anticipated return to MMA after a long absence since 2019, and he did so in dramatic fashion. Facing newcomer Warren Spencer, Danis wasted no time in reminding fans of his elite grappling pedigree. The fight ended in just 15 seconds after Danis secured a lightning-fast submission, leaving the audience stunned by the sheer dominance. This victory crowned him as the inaugural Misfits MMA light heavyweight champion, and while the matchup was short-lived, it reignited the conversation around Danis as both a competitor and a polarizing figure in the sport. For years, questions lingered about whether he would ever fight again or if his reputation was all talk, but this performance provided at least a partial answer. When it comes to pure grappling, Danis is still extremely dangerous. His comeback win was not only decisive, it was a statement to both fans and potential opponents that he's serious about competing again at a high level. After securing the 15-second submission win, Danis didn't waste any time in adding fuel to the fire with a potential new rivalry. In the ring, he faced off with none other than strongman-turned-fighter Eddie Hall. The stare-down was intense, and the two quickly agreed to meet in the cage for a future bout. Beyond Eddie Hall, Danis made it crystal clear that his ultimate goal is to join the UFC and make an impact on the biggest stage in MMA. In his post-fight remarks, he boldly claimed that the UFC is currently lacking stars and that he is the one who can fill that void. He argued that it's not just about the fights, it's about the build-up, the drama, and the overall package that captivates audiences, something he believes most UFC fighters fail to deliver.
You mentioned Islam and Khamzat.
Yes.
Obviously you want to fight both of them.
I will get that fight because the UFC right now is lacking stars, and I'm the only one you've seen this whole week sell this whole thing. I wanted to sell it more, but there were some things that went into it. The UFC wants to see me more tame, but you know, I'm the one. People are people enjoy what I'm doing, you know. In the fight, it's not just the fight, it's the whole package, it's the storyline, it's the build-up, and in the UFC, that's lacking, and these guys are boring as fuck. So I can go in there and I'll take on anybody first fight. Kevin Holland, if they want to give me a top 15, top 10, top number 1, I don't care who it is, I'll beat them all. People don't understand, no one's ever fought a grappler like me. Look what happened to Khamzat when he fought Darren Till, and I'm a way better grappler than Darren Till. So I think that would be an easy fight. Islam is just smaller, so I guess you could say that. But actually, you know what? Islam, because there's a revenge there where he punched me in the back of the head and after the Khabib altercation.
Danis went so far as to call out names like Islam, Makhachev, and Khamzat Chimaev, insisting he could beat anyone they put in front of him, whether it was Kevin Holland, a top 15 contender, or even a top 5 fighter. One of the night's most intriguing storylines was the conclusion of the heated rivalry between Darren Till and Luke Rockhold. Leading up to Misfits 22, the two engaged in a war of words, creating genuine tension and anticipation. But once the fight ended, the hostility dissolved into mutual respect. Till, showing steady pressure and aggression, had Rockhold trapped. On the ropes by the third round, eventually landing a crushing left hand that sealed the fight with a knockout finish. After the loss, Rockhold surprised many by posting a photo of himself and Till sharing a beer, accompanied by the caption, "Shit happens. It's all love. All the best to you, brother." This unexpected act of sportsmanship highlighted the unpredictability of fight game emotions, where heated rivals can become friends in an instant. Despite the brutal finish, both men walked away with respect intact, proving once again that sometimes the fight is only half the story, and what happens afterward defines legacies just as much. The drama didn't stop inside the cage. Backstage, at Misfits 22, chaos erupted in the form of a full-blown brawl after Nathan Marin suffered a controversial doctor stoppage loss to Chase D'Amour. Frustration was written all over his face. As he made his way back to the locker room, he crossed paths with Raheem Pardisi, who had secured a victory earlier that evening. Reports suggest Pardisi made a disrespectful remark as Marin passed by, and given the emotions of the night, Marin wasn't about to let it slide. What began as a verbal exchange escalated almost instantly into a physical altercation, with the two fighters trading blows and teams scrambling to separate them. While the fight was quickly broken up, the incident added another layer of controversy to Misfits 22, cementing the event as one filled with unpredictability, drama, and unforgettable moments. In the world of the UFC, Alex Pereira continues to make headlines, not for his striking, but for his rapidly improving wrestling. Ahead of his scheduled rematch with Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 320, Pereira released training footage that quickly went viral. In the clip, Pereira is seen stuffing takedown attempts from multiple training partners, one after another, in an intense drill designed to simulate real fight pressure. This footage gave fans a glimpse into Pereira's evolution as a mixed martial artist, addressing what many considered his biggest weakness. With a rematch looming against a dangerous wrestler like Ankalaev, Pereira's focus on takedown defense could prove pivotal. The footage not only boosted fan excitement, but also signaled to future opponents that Pereira is working diligently to close the gaps in his skill set. As someone already feared for his knockout power, adding improved wrestling defense makes him an even scarier opponent in the octagon. Away from the action of Misfits 22, a far darker story continues to unfold involving Raja Jackson. Despite graphic video evidence showing him violently attacking Psycho Stu, Raja has not been arrested, sparking outrage from fans and fighters alike. The Los Angeles Police Department had previously labeled the case as felony battery, yet over a week has passed with no charges filed. Critics online have accused the LAPD of dragging its feet, pointing to the severity of the assault and questioning why someone who nearly beat another man to death is walking free. Social media has been flooded with posts demanding accountability, with many describing the situation as lawless and unacceptable. UFC Roster Watch tweeted in disbelief that Raja was still not in custody after 7 days, echoing the sentiment of countless others. For the public, the lack of legal consequences feels like a miscarriage of justice, and calls for Raja's arrest grow louder with each passing day. Meanwhile, Raja's father, MMA legend Rampage Jackson, has been thrust into the controversy by association and has taken to live streaming to address the situation in his own unique way. During a recent broadcast, Rampage jokingly claimed that he had to change his identity due to receiving death threats after the incident involving his son. Sporting a new look, he humorously compared himself to figures like Donald Trump and Rick Zipa. Flair, trying to inject some levity into a situation that has otherwise been filled with outrage and anger. While some fans found his approach entertaining, others criticized it as tone-deaf, given the seriousness of the accusations against his son. Nonetheless, Rampage has continued to engage with his audience, brushing off the storm while the legal questions surrounding Raja remain unanswered. This juxtaposition of humor and scandal only added more layers to a situation that has captivated both MMA fans and the broader public. Alright, fight fans, that's all for today's video. If you want to stay up to date on MMA and UFC news, you can subscribe to the channel. See you in another video.